I'd like to call this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to order. First, I'd like to welcome our new member, Mike Mignatelli.
Thank you.
And then I need to see if we can get a motion on our minutes from June 6, 2019.
I give a motion.
First, second, all in favor?
Raise your right hand.
There's three of us. It's Miss Betty. I'll let you go. All right. Our public item is ZV 4131 3883 Alabama Avenue. Ms. Thompson.
Yes, good morning. I'm Pamela Thompson, Director of Community Development. You did receive this in your packet and it was advertised for a public hearing. However, our Senior Assistant Attorney, Will Worley, had some questions about this and he wanted to work with the applicant a little more to make sure that it was a project that he felt comfortable with us bringing forward. So we've spoken with Mr. Joey Strength, who is here on behalf of this, and he's requesting a deferral of this until your November meeting. And staff supports that. Yes, sir.
Why don't you just send an email out?
Had we known sooner, we absolutely would have, but now that we've advertised it, we did have to come together.
That is for November.
Yes, sir.
Correct. You had any questions?
So I don't really understand. I don't really understand the purpose of. Isn't everything they want to do with this allowed in highway commercial?
This
Except
is
maybe
a
apartments?
this is a PD text. And so what they ultimately want to do are mix different uses and allow for some residential uses such as maybe student apartments with some commercial uses such as a coffee shop or a copier shop or something like that. And our attorney just wants to make sure that we're working for them to request that in the proper way.
Okay.
Pamela, while you're going through the wait process, you've got a conflict between the number of acres. In one place it says 1.83.
Okay.
And in another place it says 2.44.
Okay.
So you may want to get that clarified between now and next time.
Thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Pam, I do have a question. This came to us, and I read it, and I read it again, and there's really nothing stating what they wanted, and I would think this would go to mainland planning.
Yes, sir.
But can you explain why it would come to us before planning?
Well, sir, and that's what Mr. Strength came to us and asked us what to do to ultimately achieve the goal of allowing for those different uses on the property. And I thought that the best way was to request this variance first before he moved forward. And that's what Attorney Worley is working on at this point. So it may be that we actually have it go to mainland and y'all at the same time so that everyone can see the concept. And at this point, it is just a concept. They don't have, you know, we want apartments here and the coffee shop here. So it's just a concept about the different uses on that property. So that's why Mr. Strength has agreed to work with us and step back and take a couple more months to make sure that we give y'all complete information so that y'all can make an informed decision as well as the Mainland Planning Commission.
Okay, because we've had some in the past that I just got a question mark.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
May I just comment for a second?
If you'll step up and state your name, please.
I'm Joey Strength with Hunter McLean here on behalf of the applicant. Thank you for coming out today. Sorry it's not ready for decision. After I submitted the application, there were questions and comments that I thought were helpful from people that we received back, suggesting that perhaps with this variance we should also file the rezoning application so that you could see both the rezoning application and the request for the variance at the same time. And so for the November meeting, it's our goal to either withdraw the application in its entirety or submit a rezoning application that could be heard by the Mainland Planning Commission at the same time that this application is heard by you. But it is an unusual request. I think it's something that you can consider, but I would appreciate the time to put that information together to help answer the questions that have been asked.
Okay.
My understanding is that what you want to do is, first you want to come before the mainland planning commission and get the rezoning, and you want to use only a conceptual drawing for that. Then you have to come back before them, if you get the rezoning approved, then you have to come back before them to get the site plan approved before you can get the building permit.
Yes, sir.
So I guess I have another question for staff which would be you, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Why is it you need to have a site plan if you just want to get something rezoned?
Yes, sir. It's because of the size of the property. Our current ordinance allows, if you're rezoning to PD and your property is larger than 3 acres, you do exactly what you said. You turn in a concept plan, and that's what's approved ultimately by the Board of Commissioners. And then you do a site plan through our normal process that only goes through the Mainland Planning Commission. However, if your property is under 3 acres, what our code says is you have to actually do a site plan, not a concept plan, but a site plan, which is much more detailed, and that would go to the Board of Commissioners.
For the rezoning?
Yes, or with the rezoning, and that if you ever needed to change that site plan, such as if this property were sold to someone else or in 2 years they wanted to reconfigure the buildings, they would have to go through that long process that goes to the Mainland Planning Commission and the Board of Commissioners every time to get that process amended. Whereas if they were greater than 3 acres, once they got the rezoning with the concept plan, then the site plan would just go to Mainland Planning Commission.
So the only reason you have to do that is just because it says it's in zone?
Well, yes, sir, and it's knowing, site plan, you're firm and you've done engineering costs and you really know what you want to do versus with a concept, you just know what kind of uses you want, not necessarily where you want them or how you want the site configured.
Kind of like the difference between a preliminary drawing and a working drawing.
Yes, sir, exactly.
All right. Carl?
I don't have any more questions. Do we need a formal motion to defer?
Yes, sir, and if the request of the applicants to defer to the November Board of Appeals meeting.
Yeah, you go right there.
All right, well, I'd like to make a motion.
It's on 4, page 4, go back.
Oh, this way. There you are, possible motion.
Put November.
Yeah, okay, I move to postpone the request to November
Yes, sir.
in order to gather more information, or the applicant wants to gather more information.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the applicant to gather more information.
A second? All in favor? Thank you, Pam.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Head deferment.
before we go, I'd like to let the world know that our mainland planning chairman is here, Bill Edgy, and recognize him. Thank you. With that, I guess we're adjourned.